Hey, what's up, everybody? True Boxing here. Thank you for coming back to get hit with the truth. Hey, apologies if my voice is a little off in this one. I'm sick right now. But I had to get this video out. This is the biggest fight card ever, so I had to get this fight card out there to you guys so you can, know my predictions and everything. This is the Beterbiev versus Bivol 2 Last Crescendo DAZN pay-per-view card as part of Riyadh season, the stacked ass card. They're calling it the card of the century. Now, before we get into that, if you could smash the like button, leave a comment, or subscribe to the channel, I really do appreciate any and all support that I can get as I continue to build my channel here. So I'm gonna give just my predictions on all these fights, the whole card itself, bottom to top, and let you know what I think. I did breakdown videos on all of these fights except for the Shakur Stevenson fight that was, that got canceled. Well, the fight, Stevenson is still fighting, but he's no longer fighting Floyd Schofield. So let's jump into it and look at that fight, which I think that fight got bucked down to open the card. Shakur Stevenson at 22-0 is now defending his WBC lightweight title against undefeated Josh Padley, who's stepping in on short notice. This guy is, he's 15-0. He defeated Mark Chamberlain, who is a good fighter on the rise. He defeated him in their last contest. But other than that, hasn't really beaten anybody worth the note. He's really getting lucky to get this opportunity against Stevenson. Stevenson was already a big favorite going in against Schofield, but Schofield was considered to be an undefeated, talented prospect on the rise that could give him problems. He's a bigger guy, but be that as it may, Stevenson came into this fight, or was coming in a big favorite. He was really the most one-sided favorite on the entire card. And now he's going to be a monster favorite even more. And there's a reason for that. Stevenson has a lot of pressure on him in this fight, but I really think he is going to dominate Josh Padley, pick him apart, break him down, and I think he's going to stop this kid and retain his lightweight title on the biggest card, that he's ever been on. After that, the WBO interim light heavyweight title is on the line as Joshua Buatsi, the undefeated interim champion, is battling Callum Smith, the former super middleweight champion. This is a big-time fight between these two fighters. I really cannot wait to see it. I think it's a good fight to positioning at the 175-pound light heavyweight division, because you got Buatsi, who's an undefeated, he's the interim champ, but he's a contender on the rise, battling the former champ Callum Smith. Buatsi is the favorite going in, but he's not a huge favorite because he's never really been in against an opponent on the level of Callum Smith. He fought a couple good fighters last year in Dan Aziz, who was undefeated, and then Willie Hutchinson, and he got good solid victories against both of them. So he's coming off the best year of his career. But Callum Smith is a former world champion. But Smith, in his biggest moments, has gotten blown away. His last couple big moments against, when he took on Arthur Beterbiev last year, he got destroyed in 7 rounds. And then when he fought Canelo, when he was still undefeated back in 2020, he got absolutely dominated against Canelo over 12 one-sided rounds and shut out in that fight. So does Callum Smith still have what it takes? He's coming in a little bit bigger, the reach is a little bit better. Can he beat, Joshua Buatsi in this fight? I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see, but I think he's got a solid chance as the underdog, but I'm picking Buatsi to win this fight by a decision. I could see it ending by a late stoppage, but I really think it's going to go to the scorecards. He's going to win a decision. I do think Callum Smith has a chance and has the power to possibly hurt Buatsi and stop him, but we'll see. But it's a good matchup. Really can't wait to see this one. And the winner is going to be in a very good position to fight potentially the winner of the undisputed title fight in the main event, Beterbiev and Bivol. Then you got maybe the fight that I might be most excited about, or the most 50-50 fight on the card. Vergil Ortiz defending his interim WBC super welterweight title at 154 and his undefeated record when he battles former WBA champion Israel Madrimov. I did a breakdown video on this fight. I can't wait to see this fucking fight. I think it's going to be great. You got the younger Ortiz by about 4 years, but 26. Madrimov still in his prime as well at 30. Ortiz coming off the toughest fight of his career. He finally stepped it up and took on a very legitimate fighter in Sergey Bohachuk, and he walked away with the interim title, but a controversial majority decision in that fight against Bohachuk, as he stayed undefeated. But it took away the shot at Crawford, which Turki Al-Sheikh wanted to give him. Now instead, he's fighting the guy that took Crawford to the limit, that fought Crawford hard for 12 hard rounds, lost a close decision to Crawford back in August, and lost his WBA title in Madrimov. Madrimov's the first guy in 8 fucking years to take Crawford 12 rounds. Crawford knocked everybody out for 8 years in between decisions, and Madrimov took him to a close decision. In my opinion, Madrimov is the toughest opponent Crawford ever fought. Now Ortiz has to step across that line. My prediction is that Madrimov is going to beat Ortiz by a close decision. It could end by a stoppage in the late rounds. I absolutely think Ortiz can win this fight by stoppage. I think he can possibly win a decision as well. It's a very good matchup with a lot at stake at 154. The winner is going to be in prime position to take over the division, especially with Crawford now securing the fight with Canelo. He's not going to be fighting at 154 anytime soon. So the winner of this fight, in my opinion now, could be your number one guy, or in the argument between the winner of this fight, Sebastian Fundora, who's the unified champ, and then Bakram Murtazayev, the guy that knocked out Tim Tszyu. So a lot at stake for the winner of Ortiz-Madrimov, but again, I'm taking Madrimov. Then you got the interim WBC heavyweight championship on the line when Zhilei Zhang takes on Ajit Kabayel, the undefeated fighter, undefeated contender for it. Big time matchup right here. There's a 9-year age gap though to Kabayel, who's 31, where Zhilei Zhang is 40. Big time age gap right there. But Zhang has the power advantage, but Kabayel's overall, in my opinion, the better boxer. Again, I did a breakdown video on this huge matchup. I picked Kabayel to win this fight by late stoppage or a decision, but I absolutely think with Zhang's power and his aggressiveness and being used to this stage that he could pull off the win. He's coming off of a monster knockout win over Deontay Wilder last June. He shook off the majority decision loss to Parker last March. This guy is in beast mode. I like Zhilei Zhang a lot, but Kabayel beat 2 guys that were different styles, that were undefeated and on the rise. He beat a big power puncher and Arslanbek Makhmudov, who was a heavy favorite over him, and then he destroyed Frank Sanchez, who was a big favorite, or who was a solid favorite as well, and a totally different style than Makhmudov, a good boxer with power, and he absolutely broke him down and beat the shit out of him and stopped him. So I really think this one could go either way, but I'm picking Kabayel to win this one by a late stoppage or a decision. It's going to be a good one, so we'll see. Then you have the middleweight world title, the WBC middleweight world title. Carlos Adames is battling Hamza Shiraz. Big time fight right here for the WBC title. I think it's a very good matchup. But I really believe Hamza Shiraz, I did a breakdown video on this, I really believe Hamza Shiraz is going to blow away Carlos Adames in very convincing fashion. I got him scoring a knockout in the early to middle rounds and retaining, or in capturing the WBC title and putting himself near the top of the division. Very good matchup. Can't wait to see it on this Saturday. I do think Adames has a puncher's chance to pull off the victory, but I don't think he throws enough punches, and I think Shiraz is going to overwhelm him. I got Shiraz by a knockout in this one to become the new WBC middleweight champ. Then in the co-feature, you got Daniel Dubois, the IBF heavyweight world champion, against Joseph Parker, the former WBO champion, the current WBO interim champ. Big time matchup right here. I think this is a great heavyweight fight. I think the winner is going to be in line for Alexander Usyk for undisputed. Really can't, I'm super excited about this fight. I think it could go either way. I did a breakdown video on it. I think I got Dubois winning this fight by a stoppage in the middle of the later rounds. But I could see Parker pulling off the victory here. Parker has done fantastic in his last two outings, especially when he dominated and neutralized Deontay Wilder on the Day of Reckoning card in December of 23. And then last March, when he absolutely outworked and out-hustled Zhilei Zhang, taking a couple knockdowns, shaking him off, and just totally scoring a convincing points win to stay, to capture the interim belt and put himself in this prime position. And Daniel Dubois has been on a super hot streak since he lost to Usyk back in August of 23. This last year and a half has been just magic for him. Actually 13 months leading into this, but it's only been a year and a half since that loss to Usyk, and he's just worked magic, pulling off 3 fantastic wins, defeating the tough Jarrell Big Baby Miller, who outweighed him by 90 pounds, stopping him in 10 rounds. Then followed that up with a big-time upset win over Filip Hrgovic last June on the 5 vs. 5 card to become the IBF interim champion. He was then upgraded to full champ when Usyk gave up the belt, and then he faced off against Anthony Joshua as a big underdog and absolutely destroyed Joshua, sending him down 4 times and knocking him out in the 5th round as he retained his belt. Now he comes into this one, the younger, fresher fighter. They're both hot. They're both on a colliding head-to-head. I can't wait to see it. It truly is a battle to determine the top guy to get the next shot at Usyk. And I can't wait to see it because that'll be for undisputed. So, big time matchup, but again, I'm taking Dubois. And then the main event is a magical rematch for the undisputed light heavyweight championship of the world. Reigning and undisputed light heavyweight champ Artur Beterbiev defends his titles against the only man to take him the distance back in October, former longtime WBA champion Dmitry Bivol. Can't wait to see this one. It's such a hard fight to pick because these two guys are fucking chess masters. These guys are Hall of Famer, special type fighters. Their first fight was great. It was such a technical chess match. I am fine with Beterbiev winning the first fight by a close decision. I think 7-5 is about fair because he took the championship rounds. He really put the pressure on and won those championship rounds. But Turki Alashik, and there was a lot of people that thought Bivol won the first fight. So that's why they ordered this fight to happen, the rematch to happen so quickly. I picked Bivol the first time around. I did my breakdown and prediction video. Go check it out for more details on it. But I'm picking Bivol again in this one. And the big reason here is because this is the fastest turnaround that Artur Beterbiev has had in a fight in years. I mean, I'm talking 7-8 years since he's had a quick turnaround fight like this. He usually is taking 7, 8, 9 a year, months off or a year off in between fights because he gets injured a lot. Well, he just worked hard for 12 rounds, and now on just over 4 months later, he's going to come back and have to do it again. And he had to outwork and beat Dmitry Bivol for 12 hard rounds. I think Bivol, because he's the younger fighter and he also has quicker turnarounds recently than Beterbiev, I think that's going to be the small difference. I think Bivol is going to take a hard-fought but deserving decision in the rematch, possibly setting up a third fight. But I can't wait to see this one. I think Bivol is going to become the undisputed champ, but I absolutely think Beterbiev could win this fight as well in the rematch. So can't wait to see it. That's the main event. So between my 7 predictions, I got Shakur Stevenson by a middle to later round stoppage over the replacement opponent, Josh Padley. I got Joshua Buatsi by a unanimous decision over Callum Smith in what I think is going to be a good fight for the WBO interim light heavyweight title. I got Virgil Ortiz Jr. I got Israel Madrimov winning a hard-fought decision over Virgil Ortiz Jr. to become the new interim WBC super welterweight champ at 154. I got Ajit Kabayel capturing the vacant interim WBC heavyweight title with a late stoppage victory over Zhilei Zhang in their heavyweight showdown. I got Hamza Shiraz becoming the new WBC middleweight champion with an early to middle rounds knockout win over Carlos Adames. I got Daniel Dubois retaining the IBF heavyweight championship with a middle to later round stoppage win over former champ Joseph Parker in their heavyweight title fight. And then I got Dmitry Bivol securing a majority to unanimous decision victory over Arthur Beterbiev in their rematch, as he will capture the undisputed light heavyweight championship of the world at 175. So that's it. That's what I got. That is my Beterbiev versus Bivol 2 preview and predictions video for the entire Last Crescendo DAZN pay-per-view Riyadh season card. I hope that's taking place this Saturday, February 22nd on DAZN pay-per-view. It's only $25.99. And if you're on the West Coast like I am, it's starting in the morning, and then we'll probably end in the early to late afternoon, or mid to late afternoon. Huge card right here. Make sure you tune in and see it. I can't wait. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, smash the like button, leave a comment, or subscribe to the channel. I appreciate any and all support. This is True Boxing. You've been hit with the truth.